sympathy, empathy, and compassion? Like, how are they different?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking this question, because there's a real important difference. And I think what I was describing a little bit in my medical work, I was too much focused on empathy and sometimes sympathy and not compassion. And actually that was leading me to burnout. So this is based in the psychological research, and it's based on neuroscience. And again, we can use an analogy. So if you saw someone drowning in the water and you jumped in to save them, but you didn't know how to swim, then you too would start drowning. That in essence is sympathy. It's when you are physically moved by someone else's pain and suffering, but you don't really act on it. You definitely don't really think about it from their perspective. You're just physically moved by their suffering. It's important sympathy. I'm not saying that it's not important. Empathy is you sitting on the side of the pier where the person's jumped into the water, and you imagine, oh my gosh, this must be really difficult for them because they're suffering in the water and they're drowning. But you don't act. You're just imagining.
And maybe you are feeling like how they must be feeling, and you might be taking on that emotion thing, but you haven't done anything.
Correct.
You are there with them,
absolutely.
But you haven't done anything.
And you're imagining. This is the other really important thing that we see in the research, is that empathy is actually effortful. Right? So it takes you to actually think in their shoes. How must they be feeling? It's not something that happens completely naturally, although it's an important skill. Now, compassion is you doing the empathy, feeling it, seeing that they're suffering, imagining how much it must be a challenge, and you offering a hand. Now, this is where it gets really exciting, and I get really excited about the science, but there's a different brain signature to empathy and compassion, and this is based on research from the Max Planck Institute in Germany. So they train people in empathy, they train people in compassion, and they put them through these amazing things called functional MRI scanners, whilst showing them images of people's faces who are suffering. And essentially what they found is that the people who are trained in compassion, the area of the brain that lit up is the areas associated with joy, reward, care, and love. Whereas empathy, the area of the brains that lit up, is what's associated with suffering. So it's so incredibly powerful. There's a joy in giving, there's a joy in helping that sits innate within our core. And that's what compassion taps into.